Hey everyone, and welcome to the VGA Podcast. It's Caleb and Alex back again to talk about all the video games we've been playing, all the movies and TV shows we've been watching. Hey Alex, how you doing?
Good. Getting ready for Christmas tomorrow.
Yeah, happy Christmas Eve.
Yeah. You doing anything special or no? Just hanging out?
Just going over to some family.
Nice.
Family's house for some food. Yep. How about you?
Sweet. Just hanging out at home.
Nice.
Just this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So today our show is DC movie themed. So we have a multiple choice quiz all about DC movies, and then we have a guess the game music by the music quiz. And that's not all DC, but I did throw in some DC games in there. DC games are a little bit more obscure and not that great, so I didn't do a whole thing on them, but there will be some thrown in there.
Okay.
And then this week we also watched the new Aquaman movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So we're going to be giving our thoughts and discussing that movie. And then we're going to talk about Monarch Legacy of Monsters, episodes 6 and 7, as well as the new Percy Jackson and the Olympians show. And that has 2 episodes out so far, which I'm very excited for. I loved reading those books, so
Same.
I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, well, let's get into the Nerd Pop quiz. So, Nerd Pop Quiz DC Movie Edition. So, same as normal, you'll get 2 points for a correct answer if you can get it without the multiple choice. And if you need the multiple choice, then it'll be 1 point.
Let's do it.
Okay, first question. Which classic Batman villain appears in every movie of the Dark Knight Trilogy?
Is it the Scarecrow make an appearance in every single one? Final answer?
Let's see if it's Scarecrow. It sure is. Yeah, nice.
Ooh, Falcone's an interesting one.
Yeah, Falcone. I think he's only in the first one.
Okay.
And there's another guy that sounds similar to him in the second one.
That sounds similar to Falcone.
Yeah, Falcone. It's like another Italian kind of name. I know they say it different. I think, don't they say it Falcone in Gotham or something?
Yeah, they say it different and different things. I've always said Falcone from Gotham. I think it says Falcone in Gotham.
Yeah, and
there's Maroni. Maroni and Falcone, or at least in Gotham where they're big.
Yeah, I think that's the other person I was thinking of. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, nice. 2 points on that one. In Batman Begins, who killed Thomas and Martha Wayne?
That's the Christopher Nolan one, right?
Yes.
Was it? I think it was. I'm gonna need multiple choice on this one because they always change this up, so I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, was it Hugo Strange, Jack Napier, Joe Chill, or Matches Malone?
I believe it's Joe Chill. C. Final answer.
Let's see if it's Joe Chill. It sure is. Yay! Yes. Very nice. Okay, why did this move over here? All right, so that's 3 points. And moving on to the next one. In The Dark Knight, what is Harvey Dent's campaign slogan?
Ooh, think. Oh man. Think, Alex. Think.
It's plastered all over like signs and posters.
Yeah.
And they say it a lot, but it's kind of like a throwaway thing that you don't really keep in your brain.
I think it's like I believe or something. Give me a multiple choice. I'll probably get it at the multiple choice.
Okay, is it I believe in Harvey Dent, All the Way with Dent, Gotham's Well with Harvey Dent, or Trust in Harvey Dent?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with A. I believe in Harvey Dent.
All right, let's see if your first.
Just like I believe in this answer.
Okay, let's see if your instinct was right. Is it I believe in Harvey Dent?
Yeah.
Okay, up to 4.
Yeah.
In The Dark Knight Rises, what does Bane call powerful agents to the uninitiated? So there's two things in this answer.
Cool. Bane.
Yep, just start doing the voice and maybe it'll come back to you.
Deception and something. Go multiple choice.
Okay. Is it skill and talent, distraction and speed, surprise and fear, or theatricality and deception?
I believe it's theatricality and deception.
Let's see if it's theatricality and deception.
You did that a little better.
It is, yes.
Bane, yes.
Okay, 5 points. Nice.
So dramatic.
Yeah. Which Suicide Squad movie character was also depicted in the Green Lantern movie?
Ooh. Okay, so what Suicide Squad?
It's technically, I think, both of them, but
okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That kind of gives a hint.
Yeah.
Is it Rick Flag? Is Rick Flag in the Green Lantern movie? The final answer.
Let's see if it's Rick Flag. Ooh, it is not Rick Flag. That's a good guess, though. That's a good guess. Here, I'll give you this.
You were close.
Okay, so here's the multiple choice. So obviously it's not Rick Flag. So is it Amanda Waller, Deadshot, or June Moon?
Wait, who is June Moon?
She's the is it the Enchantress? The bad person in the really bad Suicide Squad movie? Yeah.
Oh man, is it Deadshot? I'm gonna go Deadshot. Final answer. I'm not sure on this one.
Let's see if it's Deadshot. Ooh, I'm sorry.
No, is it who is it?
It is Waller.
Oh,
yep. Amanda Waller. Oh. Which I did not know. I did not realize until I did some digging on it.
Granted, I haven't seen that. It's the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in forever. So.
Me too. Yes.
Great movie.
Okay. In Man of Steel, what punishment is Zod sentenced to by the Kryptonian Council?
In Man of Steel, isn't he banned from? Oh, hold on. Punishment for Zod. He is. Oh, you know what? He's exiled to the zone. I don't remember what the zone's called. I remember this. The Phantom Zone.
Let's see.
I don't know for how long though.
I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, he was imprisoned in the Phantom Zone. I think it was for I think it was supposed to be 40 years, but I don't think it was actually 40 years. I think he came out early or something. But yep, the Phantom Zone.
Well, the Phantom Zone, does time work differently in there?
That's a good question. It might, because that might be why Clark's not 40 when he comes out.
Yeah,
I don't remember exactly, but the Phantom Zone was what I was looking for. So very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I look up Phantom Zone time in Google and it brings up the firework place.
Okay. Yeah, that's not helpful.
Like I don't know if you guys have. Do we have Phantom? Is there Phantom Zones in Phoenix?
I don't think so. I haven't heard of that,
No,
but
no, it's like a firework place out here.
interesting.
They sell
Okay.
fireworks.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Wonder Woman. What is the Amazonian island that Diana and the other Amazons live on?
I just like the music. I don't know, the Invisible Island.
That would fit with some of her other stuff. Yep. Okay.
give me the multiple choice.
All right. Is it Isla Nublar, Themyscira, Santa
It's definitely not
Prisca, or Lazarus Island?
It's B. Themis, whatever. It's B.
Themyscira? Okay, let's see if it's
Yeah.
Themyscira. It is. Yes.
Yay! The Invisible Island.
Yes. What, you didn't think it was Isla Nublar?
No. Yeah, that's the right one. Yeah, that
There's
was my
dinosaurs
second
there too.
guess. Wait, is there?
No. Okay. Next one. In Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, who said that's how it starts? The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
I think it's Lex Luthor. Final answer.
Let's see if it's Lex Luthor. Ooh, I'm sorry, it is not.
Ooh.
I think this was even in the trailer, or at least part of this.
Think. Oh.
So
Would say something like
I'll
that.
bring up the multiple choice since you got that one wrong, so you can have some.
Okay.
So is it Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Alfred Pennyworth, or Martha Kent?
I think it's Alfred. Now that I'm thinking of the trailer. I think it's Alfred.
Okay, let's see if it's Alfred. It sure is. Yes.
Yay!
Nice. Okay, up to 9 points.
Woohoo!
In Justice League, in which country is the fishing village located where Bruce Wayne recruits Aquaman?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think. I don't know. It's a fishing village. I believe it was Greenland, Iceland, something like that. Oh, which one? Which one? Those two are first that pop in my mind. I'm gonna go with maybe I think it's Iceland. Final answer.
All right, let's see if it's Iceland. It sure is. Nice. I thought for sure you were going to go with Greenland and have to pick the multiple choice. Very nice.
Oh, man. Whew.
Also in Justice League, who appears to Bruce Wayne in a vision and warns him that Lois Lane holds the key to everything?
Is it the Flash? Final answer?
Let's see if it's the Flash. It is.
Yay!
Yes. You must have really liked that movie.
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it like a lot of people.
Yeah. I never watched the Zack Snyder cut, so.
Zack Snyder cut's actually pretty good, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I should say relative to the other one.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
In Aquaman, who said, "The ocean is not just our home, it is who we are."
Oh. Ocean is not just our home, it is who we are. Ooh. Ooh. Is that I'm trying to think. It's give give me the multiple choice. I don't quite
Okay.
remember.
Is it Vulko, Aquaman, Mira, or Black Manta?
I don't think it's not Black Manta. I don't think it's Aquaman. It's either Mirror or Volko. Volko, I believe, is the guy played by William Defoe, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I think it's him. I'm gonna go with A. I don't think Mira says that.
Okay, let's see if it's
Yeah, I'm going
Vulko. It sure is, yes.
Yay! Yahoo!
Very nice. What is the name of Harley Quinn's hyena in Birds of Prey?
Ooh, this one I don't know. I'll need multiple choice.
Okay. I also didn't know it because I did not see this movie, but
I didn't either.
okay,
I
is
can
it
take a lucky guess.
huh?
I could take a lucky guess, though.
Okay, go for it. Well, you could do it. Do you want to do it without the multiple
Well,
choice?
with multiple choice.
Okay. Is it Hank, Bruce, Harvey, or Bud?
I don't know. Bruce? Final answer?
Let's see if it's Bruce. It is. Oh,
I figured
that's funny.
you name it something like that. Yeah.
Be crazy.
Yay! Lucky guess.
Yeah, nice. In the movie Joker, Arthur Fleck performed stand-up at Pogo's Comedy Club. Pogo the Clown was the stage name for which real-life serial killer?
Ooh, I read about this. It's. Oh, give me the multiple choice. I'll know I'll get it with the multiple choice.
Okay, is it Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, or H.H. Holmes?
I think it's John Wayne Gacy. Final answer.
Let's see if it's John Wayne Gacy. It is, yes.
Yay!
Up to 16 points.
Yay! Serial killer.
Yeah. Maybe not the best sound to play after that, but what, you got it right. In Shazam, what famous song plays during Billy's first training montage?
Is it? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Is it the Rocky song? I'm gonna assume it's the Rocky theme song. Final answer.
I forget. I don't think it is. What's the name of the Rocky theme song? I have to double check.
Oh man, I don't know. Training montage.
Let me see. Just making sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's actually just okay. No, it is not. I wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Okay. All right. Multiple choice.
Okay. Is it Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, Don't Stop Believing by Journey, or Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley?
Never gonna give me. Wait, is it Don't Stop Me Now by Queen?
Let's see if it's
Or
Don't Stop.
Eye of the Tiger. Oh, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna go with my first gut instinct. I'm gonna go B.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
Okay, let's see if it's Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. It is. Good job sticking with your gut.
Oh, because I probably would switch it to Eye of the Tiger, just because I think it's I haven't seen this movie in a while either. So
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it too. That's definitely a good guess. That's why I put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last question. In The Batman, what was the answer to the riddle, what does a liar do when he's dead?
Oh man, I feel like I'm playing the Batman game. I heard do when he's dead.
And just to be clear, this is the Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
This is the. Oh, that's right. That's when they find what's his face.
The Riddler.
And
yeah.
What does Lar do when he's dead? What does a lie? Oh, he lies still, I believe. Yes, he lies still. That's it. Yes, thank you. Because I was thinking of the first Batman movie.
Okay.
Batman Begins.
Gotcha.
But yeah. He lies still.
Let's see if he lies still. He sure does. Very nice. All right, that brings you up to 19 points. That's pretty good.
About 30. Yeah.
So, yeah.
19 out of 30, you're right?
19 out of 30, yes. Which, I mean, some of these I hadn't seen in a while, so they're a little bit harder when you haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah, if I had just watched a lot of these, then obviously I probably could have gotten a lot of them, but it's been years.
Yeah. All right.
Sweet.
Good job with that one.
Yay! Bane!
Let me put that into here.
Sorry, it sounds a little more muffled. My name is Bane, and I don't know what to do.
That's especially in the trailer. That's what he sounded like.
My name is Bane. Dude, Jesus Christ.
Okay, now moving on to Guess the Game.
All right.
So, we have 10 games here. Some of them are DC themed, some of them aren't. And if you need a hint, I can give you the year they were released. So, guess the game. What video game is this?
Oh, what year? This sounds so familiar.
This came out in 2022.
2022?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, that kind of... Okay, 2022. That was... So last year?
Yes, it was early
in
the year.
Oh, you know what? I know what this is. This is Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Let's see if it's Xenoblade. It is not Xenoblade.
Oh! Crap, that wasn't 2023, was it? That was a couple years ago.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, I think that was...
See, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was...
I think that was 2022. It wasn't this year.
Yeah, it was 2022.
You said 2023?
No, it's 2022. Both of them were... You were right. It was released... Both were released in 2022, but it is not Xenoblade.
Oh. Okay. Oh, let me get one more guess. Even if it's for no points. I just want to... So they both were in 2022.
Yes. And I'll give you one more hint. They were both released just on the Switch. So you were pretty close, but just off.
Is it... I don't know if this is it, but is it Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Final answer?
So I think I'll give you a point because it is Pokemon, but it's Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh wait, did that come out the same year as...
I think Violet and Scarlet came out... I think that came out this year, didn't it?
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah. And then Arceus came out last year. Oh no, I guess it did. It was November 2022. So yeah, they both came out in 2022. One came out in January and one came out in November.
So this one came out in January, so maybe this is why I thought this was a different year.
Yeah.
Because it's so close to...
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, well, I'll give you 1 point because you did get... It was Pokemon.
Okay.
All right, let's listen to the next one. What song is this from?
Is this a recent game?
Not super recent.
What year?
So this came out in 2013. So no, not recent.
2013. Ooh, okay, 2013. That was... Was that the 360 era?
Yes.
Or was that the Xbox One?
It was 360.
I think that's 360. That was that towards the end of the 360? I don't remember.
I think so.
Oh. Is it a Batman game? Or we're going Batman theme? Maybe Batman what that would have been Last Origins, because that was before Arkham Knight. Yeah, is it Batman? I'm gonna go with the Batman theme. Batman Arkham Origins?
It is not.
Ah.
But
Okay.
You were close.
I was close. Okay, if I was close, go. Hold on, think. 2013. DC's if DC maybe Injustice, maybe? Is that what it's called? That fighting game?
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Very nice. You pulled it out of nowhere. It is Injustice, Gods Among Us.
I knew that was a 360 era, or at least like the first, or one of the. I don't know if they remade it for any other systems, but
yeah, and they made Injustice 2, I think. But,
Injustice 2, yeah, that's what. Yeah, and then you said it was close, and I didn't know any other Batman games.
Yep.
I don't know any, but okay.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
What year?
Okay, so this came out in 2010.
2010.
2010.
Oh. Okay, 2010. That's definitely the 360 era.
Yep.
Initial thoughts. It sounds like epic, like a Lord of the Rings or a 2010. PS3 era too. God of War? Wait. Let me think here. God of War 1 and 2 came on PS2. God of War 3. I think God of War 3 is on the PS3. Yeah, it kind of sounds like God of War. I'm gonna go God of War 3. Final answer.
Okay, let's see if it's God of War 3. Ooh, it is not.
Oh, yeah.
I will also say this thing has been re-released on almost every console.
Really?
Yes.
Sounds. God, why does it sound so much like God of War? It sounds like the game I'm playing. Like, I told you Darksiders, but I don't know if that came out 2010. Re-released on every console. I guess. Oh, I don't know if that was re-released on every console. Although I am playing on the Switch. Oh God, I don't know. Let's just go with. I don't know if it's. I'm gonna say Darksiders again. I don't know if this is the right answer, but it sounds so much like God of War.
Okay, let's see if it's Darksiders.
Oh, it is!
I was so hoping you'd guess it because you were right there.
I know, wait, it sounds so similar, and then you said every console. I'm like, wait a second, it sounds like the game I'm playing.
Yep.
I didn't know that the original was released.
Yep, it was 2010.
Oh.
I put this on here specifically because you said you were playing it, and I like this game, so.
I know, I'm playing it now, and I'm freaking loving it, but we can talk about that later. But, thank God I got it. That would have drove me nuts if I didn't get that.
Okay, next one.
Interesting. I don't know. Initial thoughts. Let's see here. I don't know what year.
Okay, so this came out in 2005 for Windows,
2005.
PlayStation 2, and Xbox.
Oh, kind of sounds like a Rainbow Six game or something. Is it? I don't know if that was 2005. Let's go with. I don't know. Can I just guess a Tom Clancy game? Oh, okay. I have two things on my mind.
Okay.
I have a Tom Clancy game, and it kind of sounds like a Time Splitters game, which I don't know if you ever played Time Splitters.
In the arcades, I think I have.
Man, you got to play Time Splitters on the original Xbox. Oh my god, it was so fun.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same thing. It's probably not the same thing, but I'm going to go with Tom Clancy. I'm just going to say a Tom Clancy game. You give me half a point if it's right.
It is not a Tom Clancy game. I'll give you this. I'll give you this hint just to see if anything sparks from it. This is a DC property.
Or DC property. A DC property.
Yes.
Interesting. On the normal Xbox and the PS2?
Yep.
All I could think of is Spider-Man games, which is Marvel.
It kind of does sound like a Spider-Man game.
I don't know. I got nothing. What is it?
Okay, this is the Constantine game.
Okay. See, I never played this.
Me neither, but I was like, oh, I thought you might
I didn't even know there
maybe
was a Constantine game.
Yeah. I had to dig pretty deep for any kind of DC games, so there might be another one or two like this, just so you know.
Like I've played a lot of like Spider-Man games on those older consoles. But yeah. Interesting.
Okay, next
was that a good game? I wonder if
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
I don't know. THQ makes pretty decent games, though, don't they? Or did they?
They used to. I think they're gone now.
Yeah.
Okay, next up.
Oh, I know this one. This is Ori and the Blind Forest. God, I love this game. Beautiful music. Oh.
Yes, it is. It's so beautiful.
Yes. I freaking love this song.
I had a feeling you'd
I actually
get
have this
right
on
away.
I have it on my music playlist.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I freaking love this song.
Yep, it's so good.
And I played the second game, but there's something about this first game that just, I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
I think I tried it too, and I couldn't get into it as much as the first one.
Like the story in this first one and the music. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. After that Constantine one, I had to give you one that I was pretty sure you were familiar with. Okay, next up.
Why do I keep reverting back to Tom Clancy games? Like it sounds like Splinter Cell or something. What year was this?
This came out in 2004.
2004. Interesting. So it's an older game. Oh, hold on. Wait. No. Is it?
I'm going to give you some of the platforms it was released on too, because it probably won't help, but it's interesting. So it was released on Windows, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and Xbox.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Dang. So, okay, that's... So, did you say Game Boy?
Yeah, Game Boy Advance.
Was it one of those things where, like, it was a different, like, game, even though it was the same?
I'm sure it had to be different. Like,
I don't know
how the Game Boy could play something that the PlayStation 2 also plays, so I'm sure there was slight differences.
I gotta admit, I'm pooped on this. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is another tough one. You want me to give it to you?
Yeah, you can just give it to me.
It's another one of those DC deep cuts. It's the Catwoman game. Yeah, I've never played this. I've heard it's real bad. Like,
I'm sure it is.
Bad.
Yeah, no wonder I was pooped on this. I'm like, I swear.
It did sound like Splinter Cell. I heard that too. Like, it's...
Yeah, I was like, wait.
Okay, next up.
What year?
So this was released late in 2020.
Late in 2020. Oh, okay, interesting.
In December
2020. I think that was the infamous COVID year. What was I doing in December of 2020? It was probably this. Doom Eternal.
Let's see if it's Doom Eternal.
That sounds like Doom. I think
it's not Doom Eternal.
No.
That's a pretty good guess, but because it does sound like Doom, kind of.
Resident Evil. I think it was the remake 2 or 3. I think it was 3.
Let's see if it's Resident Evil. It is not.
Dang. All right, let me get one more guess. I'm thinking, even if it's for no points.
Sure.
Is it Cyberpunk? Did that come out? Did that come out in 2020? Cyberpunk?
It is, yes. I'll give you a point for that. You got there without any extra hints.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like like a techno type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But also Resident Evil always does some weird crap too, so it kind of sounds like a horror game at the beginning. Interesting.
Okay. Here's the next one.
What year?
This came out in 2009.
Okay. It sounds like it's... I'm gonna go with... I believe this has to be Arkham Asylum. This sounds like Arkham Asylum. Please be it, or else I sound like stupid. Is it Arkham Asylum, final answer?
It sure is. I have the intercom sound on our soundboard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great freaking game.
Yeah, awesome game. All right,
such a
up to 6.
Game too.
Yeah, I've replayed it a few times. Okay. Next up, here we go. Any initial thoughts, or you need the year?
Initial thoughts is it kind of sounds like Final Fantasy 16, but give me the year.
Okay, this came out in 2018.
2018. Well, that definitely sounds familiar. Yeah, because I'm getting like I'm still getting like a Final Fantasy. Let me think of what's like a. Oh, you know what? 2018. Is it? I guess my second guess. It kind of sounds like we're looking at year. Is it Monster Hunter?
Let's
Final
see.
answer?
Is
Monster Hunter
it
World, I guess it'd be.
is it Monster Hunter World? It is. Nice.
Yay!
Very nice.
Yeah, it had that like, I don't know, JRPG. Well, I know that's not JRPG, but it has like that Japanese music kind of.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is a good guess for it too. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Not sure yet.
Yeah, this is the last one, so I had to make it a tough one.
What year? Kind of sounds sad.
This one came out in 2013.
2013. So Xbox 360, PlayStation 3.
Thank you, Ashley.
Oh man, you know if I played this game?
Yes, I'm pretty sure you played this game.
Oh, I'm stumped.
I'll give you one more hint. It is also a DC property.
A DC property, another DC property in 2013.
Probably the best DC game, honestly. Well, Arkham's good. Arkham's good, but this game is also really good.
So it's not Arkham, or it's not a Batman game, or at least Arkham games. It's not Injustice, because we already did that. What in the flying? What?
It's
What
not.
other?
It's not necessarily a DC superhero. I'll give you that too.
It's just like DC property.
Yeah.
Think, Alex. What?
Think about the tone.
Is it? Dude, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. I really don't. I cannot think of any.
You ready for the answer?
Yeah, go for it.
It's The Wolf Among Us. Great game.
Okay.
And I had forgotten it was a DC comic until I looked up all the DC video games.
Interesting. Okay. That's right.
All right, so you got 7 out of 10.
Okay. Not bad. Took a few guesses on some of them. Gave me some extra guesses, but not bad.
You pretty much only missed the DC ones.
Yeah, those
some
ones
of the
are
DC
rough.
ones. Yeah.
Man.
All right. Well, 7 out of 10 is not bad.
Okay.
Let me add that into
No,
our...
I'll take it.
Okay. So now let's get into some of the stuff we watched this week. Do you want to start with Aquaman or Monarch or Percy Jackson? Do you have any preference?
It doesn't matter. I guess we could start with Aquaman since we're doing the DC.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so we'll give our scores on it, and then we'll get into spoilers. Do you want to give your score first? I'm interested to see what you have to say about this movie.
Yeah. This movie was, I don't know, I guess it was just okay for me. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I definitely liked the first one more. But it was a fun movie. Like, I wasn't bored during the movie. It's just, I did have a lot of issues, which I'm sure you do too. So I would probably give it a 5 out of 10. I think it's very, 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 very average. And not that great, but also not terrible. So I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
Yep, that is pretty much to a T exactly what I have. I gave it a 5. It's average. I feel like this one's going to be like Thor 2, where it's just like, yeah, it was kind of fun while I watched it, but I'm not going to remember anything about it, and I'm not going to go back and rewatch it, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, there were some fun moments, but I definitely had my issues with it, and I gave it, just a 5.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. That's just the best way to put it. It's just average. Like, there wasn't anything special. There's some cool elements in it, and I did like certain scenes, but then I did have a lot of issues like when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But which I think is apparent. I think like it's like obvious issues too. It's not even like critical thinking issues.
Yeah.
But
or like little nitpicks. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was not bored while watching. Like, I was sitting there in the theater and like I was enjoying it. Like, I didn't want to like leave, or I wasn't like sleepy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
for
I
sure.
enjoyed it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's nothing special.
Yeah.
It's forgettable. But all right, I guess we could do spoilers.
Yeah, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But we're gonna get into some spoilers here on Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom.
Okay. I don't know. So what were some of the? Well, I guess just list the good thing. We'll list the good things we liked first. So what did you like about it?
I thought Patrick Wilson was really good in it. I thought he was probably the best part of the movie. Jason Momoa had some funny parts, but it kind of just felt like he was playing himself and not really like acting that much. He was kind of just like aloof and cracking jokes the whole time, but Patrick Wilson seemed to actually like try a little more. I don't know if that's the right way to explain it, but and honestly, my favorite part of the movie was the last fight between Aquaman and Black Manta. Like, I feel like that fight had some really cool choreography, cool camera work, and it looked really good. My biggest problem with it was about 20 seconds and then it was over.
Yeah.
So it just went by too quick.
My only other issue with that fight, well, I feel like a lot of fights, but when I watched that fight, it seem like there was points where like there's so much crap on the screen you couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah, that was a big thing in this movie. There was a lot of that.
Because I remember I liked that last fight too, but like there was points where like they're hitting each other on on the rocks, you know, and the rocks are falling, and I couldn't see for like a split second. I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, it was like all over the movie, like the chase through Atlantis. There was so much going on and quick cuts and stuff. Like the CG was pretty good, but it was like pretty hectic to follow.
Yeah, like, and the point, like with that last fight, I love that fight too. Like the part where like the camera just kind of circles around them while they're fighting.
Yep.
Like that's cool. Like, but then like when they start hitting each other on things and the camera cuts away, then it's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I mean by like that fight was only 20 seconds. the good part of it, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually think the action for me was better in the first one. I remember really liking the action. It felt cleaner.
Yeah.
First one, I should say.
Yeah, I agree.
What was there any other things you like that stood out that you liked?
Let's see. I mean, some of the like scenes between Orm and Aquaman were pretty good. Honestly, I'm probably forgetting some things, but that kind of just speaks to the movie not being that memorable.
Yeah, because our list for the bad is probably gonna be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to look at my notes.
Because I agree with you. Although I will say, I really enjoyed Jason Momoa. I feel like him being himself is just Aquaman for me.
Yeah, he seemed like he was having fun, and just I think my problem was more some of the writing than his acting, because it did just seem like he was having fun, and
he played off of Patrick Wilson really well.
I feel like that dynamic was really good.
They even made a joke about it, right? He's like, "Come on, Loki," or he said something like Loki.
Like,
this is totally Thor and Loki. Yeah, it's like little jokes like that. Where he's like, "Oh, put you back in Azkaban," or what did he say? Like he just wants a cheeseburger and beer. Like I don't know. It
Yeah.
just made it feel like a real person.
Yeah.
Which maybe you're right. Maybe it is a little to a fault, but
Yeah, I liked it for the most part. Some of the times it seemed a little bit like weird
like
for what was going on, but you know, it's a
yeah,
superhero
not
movie.
all
There's going to be
jokes.
those jokes. Yeah.
I mean, and to be honest, more of the jokes in this movie fell flat than landed
Yeah.
for me, at least.
Yeah. My theater was pretty empty, but like there were not that many chuckles,
Yeah.
honestly.
No. Oh, same with mine. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Patrick Wilson. I thought he was really good. I really like Jason Momoa. I really liked the family aspect of him raising his kid, and
Yeah, that's
but
true.
again, that's going to go hand in hand with the bad because like they hardly focused on that, which could have been a
True.
main story point.
True. Yep.
This movie didn't know what it wanted to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not in the bads yet, Alex. I'm not in the bads. I liked the beginning scenes where it kind of showed him being a parent and the hardships of it. And I love the whole like him with his dad, you know, it's like the
Yeah.
kind of like father son, like we're kind of raising his kids. I don't know where his wife was, but I kind of do because you know the whole Amber Heard thing.
Right. Yep.
Which is a glaring thing. You could totally tell in this film that they cut her out of a lot.
Yeah, I feel like she was in more than I was expecting, though. Like,
she was, but like it's weird because they make her seem so concerned, but she's hardly in the scenes with the kids and stuff.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like it's showing him and his dad like having a beer, like oh, it was a rough day and stuff.
Yeah,
but like,
where is she?
Where's his wife? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
And it showed that not once or twice, but like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So does she just live in the sea?
I guess that's what they're going with.
Down the ocean or something?
Or they're just like, don't think about it.
Yeah, that's probably right. Let's just cut Amber Heard out of these scenes. And
yeah. I feel like, and I've read a lot that there was some like rework stuff done near the end of it.
I read that too.
So that might
I read there was a lot of reshoots.
Yeah.
Which I know is common with movies, but I read this one was pretty intense reshoots.
Yeah.
I mean the brother dynamic I liked. I don't know. I guess the special effects are decent in some points.
Yeah.
I guess it was better than a lot of the recent Marvel stuff, so I'll give them credit there for how much CG there was. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I did like I like the goofiness of it. I love the whole weird alien or not aliens, fish and all that. Like I like the whole. They went full comic book. Like
yeah, they did for sure.
I
also liked the scientists working with Black Manta. I thought he did a good job of like being kind of funny, but also like having a moral dilemma of like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. And
like, I like him too, and I like the actor.
I like the actor a lot. Yeah,
but for me, it was more so negative because it was so freaking obvious. At least make like
true,
like a super evil scientist that's having like, oh crap, look at what we're doing, like having a gender part. It was like such an obvious, like this dude's obviously going to turn on him. I'm just waiting when.
True, yeah.
Like I don't know. For me, a better like change would have been like if he's like not like an evil scientist, but like they made him like I'll do anything, which he mentioned it in the movie. I just want to be noticed and stuff. I don't know. I liked him though as an actor though. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
I did like him.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I mean, I guess that's the goods that I could think of like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else really stands out. It was just pretty average. Like I had fun while watching it, but nothing really stuck out as like, oh, I need to go see that again.
Yeah.
It was like a fun adventure through like the jungle and like seeing Atlantis, and like there was some stuff to visually enjoy, but yeah, just average. Other than that.
So with the bad. Okay, so like I'll start with the bad here. So
okay.
First of all, this movie doesn't know what it wants to be, right? The first 20 minutes was like family man, I got to juggle being the king and being a family man. I was like, oh, this is kind of an interesting thing. Like, I don't know, I liked him being a kid, being a real dude.
Yep.
And then it switched to, Black Manta was searching for more, I don't know, Atlantean power for his
to rebuild his suit.
And instead he found a trident, which gave him powers from an ancient, or from one of the lost kingdom.
Yeah.
King, which, fine, whatever. So there's that storyline. But then he also wants to stop or kill Aquaman and all of his family.
Yeah.
So then it turns into like, so they're getting a bunch of like, pretty much like poison to power their weapons and stuff, or to burn so it melts the ice.
Yeah.
So then there's like that whole storyline of it. And as they're getting this, the Atlanteans, or not the Atlanteans, or yeah, right? The Atlanteans find them.
Yep. They catch him stealing it, yeah.
Yeah, and then he destroys a bunch of crap, and then the movie turns into, okay, I got to get my brother to help me stop Black Manta. So then, like, 20 minutes of the movie is literally just, which I like that part of the movie, but it felt so separate.
Yeah, it did.
And then, you know, they do the brotherly stuff, which I'll get into more, and then they go to the what was that place called? The underwater kind of like pirate.
The sunken
yeah. Which was interesting, and then after that they go to that thing.
That was so fast. I kind of forgot about that. Like, that was a cool idea, but just like so quick and didn't show that much of it. Yeah.
No, which a lot of this movie didn't show a lot of it, like the world, which maybe because they did more in the first movie, I don't remember. But yeah, then they go to the volcano, they stop all that crap. And then from there, it switches to, okay, now they're opening, Aquaman's brother touches the staff and sees, the king's gonna rise, and tells the whole backstory of how they froze that kingdom because they were trying to take over, and that king turned all his people into monsters. So then it turned into like, we got to go there, and he wants to stop them from doing that, while Black Manta also wants to kill Aquaman and his family, and they need his bloodline, so they steal the kid. So we go back to the kid an hour and a half into the movie, or an hour and 10
after you haven't seen anything about him for a while. Yeah,
and then they fight Black Manta, and then after they fight Black Manta, they got to figure out the staff and this king thing, and the army of the dead, and there's just so much going on.
There is, yeah.
I was like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a king trying to balance his life with that? Do you want a cop brother movie?
Yeah.
Like Black Manta, like, and Black Manta wasn't necessarily bad. His story made sense, right? He killed his father. He wants revenge. I don't care about it being a stereotypical villain. I'm a sucker. You know me. I'm a sucker for just a good old classic villain.
Sure. Yeah.
For me, it doesn't need to be special, like, you know, all the time, like a Thanos. Sometimes, like, a good little revenge story is fine. But then it added in the kingdom stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many things that could have been cut, and it wouldn't have changed that much. Like, like, either do the Black Manta revenge thing, or do the Necros, like, killing the planet to break the ice caps. I don't know why it had to be both, and it just kind of seems convoluted. I don't know.
Yeah, and number one, this is with every superhero story, I know. But if the world's having this crazy crap, isn't like the Justice League going to be like, yo, Aquaman, what the heck is happening? This world is like ending. We're getting like thunder snowstorms in Texas.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think I read somewhere that they were going to appear. Some of them were going to appear in this movie. I think I read somewhere.
I read Batman was supposed to appear to tell him about that happening or something. Yeah.
But you're right. Like, there's two, like, to me, like, if I would have made this movie, I'm just a little old average dude. I would have been a much more interesting movie, a nice, like, compact, like, family type movie. Like, how much more intense would it have been if Black Manta was like hunting his family kind of thing, you know? Like that one scene where Black Manta did go into the home, like that was a pretty intense little scene.
Yeah. I actually read, I don't know how true this is, that some of the reshoots were because they originally had him kill his son in that scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they changed it, and that's why. So, okay, here I'm going to bring up one of my biggest. It's it's not a big, it's a nitpick, but it bothered me, and they did it like 3 times. They used slow motion so horribly in this movie, where they didn't use real slow motion, where they, you know, shot it in higher frame rate and played it back slow. Yeah, it's the just have the frame rate and play it that way, and so it's all like, jagged and like
that is such a cheesy, like old school way of like TV television.
Yeah, and they did that like right after his son got taken, and then it was like it did that while he's screaming no, and then it just cuts to black. It was such weird editing, and like
they cut to black a lot in this movie, and that bothered me too.
I feel like that was editing trying to put together whatever they did in the reshoots, and
right,
it was weird. They did.
Is it just me, or I'm all for a good cut to black? It adds intensity, but Jesus Christ, they did it like 3 or 4 times. I feel like
they used it as a crutch to work around reshoots and stuff, I think.
That drove me nuts too.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a little nitpicky too, like you're saying, but so the story is basically it's a mess.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we kind of already mentioned on is the whole Amber Heard thing, which obviously, I mean, I read they cut her out of a lot of stuff, and you could feel it in this movie. It was, for me, it was a distraction in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
especially with the kids stuff.
People who don't know about it. Maybe other people who don't know about it, it wasn't. But I knew about it, and with the kids stuff, it's like at the end when she's yelling, like, "No, that's my kid." I'm like, well, where the hell were you at the first 30 minutes of the movie?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It for me, it did bother me. Like it I was thinking about it during the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I was too. I honestly thought they were going to kill her off or something. I did not think they were going to.
At that beginning, when
she got like hit,
Manta shot her.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so this is how they're going to get rid of her for the rest of the movie,
right? I thought that too.
But yeah, that was an issue for me. And for me, like, I liked the scientist character, but for me, it was so obvious for me.
Very
the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, this dude's obviously gonna turn on him.
Yeah.
He's obviously gonna do something to help out Aquaman and them. So, but I really do like the actor.
Yeah, I do too.
But for me, that character was, I don't know, I guess it was a positive and a negative. I liked the idea of the staff kind of like possessing him. Like, it was interesting. It reminded me very like Lord of the Ringsy.
Yeah.
Just
that's
like
true.
With like Sauron and stuff, but
yep.
Yeah, I like the way the undead and all that looked. It just seemed like, and you notice we didn't even talk about, like, we just mentioned the middle of the movie. Like, literally for 20 minutes was literally just Aquaman, and it was like it's like a buddy cop movie for 20 minutes, just randomly.
Yep. It definitely was.
And I liked it. Honestly, that was probably one of the best parts, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like him kind of joking, like you eating a cockroach. That was actually pretty funny. I liked that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I don't know, and I know we mentioned about Jason Momoa. Is there something about his charisma, man? Like when he's like, "Oh, I just want a cheeseburger and a beer," or "Let's go get some this." I'm like, oh, he just seems like a real dude.
Yeah, he is very charismatic. I guess is
what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. What else you got? That's kind of
so
messy plot.
Okay, this is kind of weird, but for some reason, the enemy base where they're like pumping out the orichalcum to mess with it, that part, and especially when the ice caps start melting and stuff, it just reminded me of G.I. Joe, which it's kind of a deep cut, but I don't think that's a good thing that it reminded me of that. So I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, maybe it's a good thing for G.I. Joe since you remembered that.
True. Yeah. Let's see.
But I will say though, some of the action was cool. Like some of the fighting in that scene, with the big robot thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like those were where James Wan's direction style kind of shown. but I don't feel like it had that many of those moments. Had some.
I was kind of waiting for that moment. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this action scene, like, I don't know. Because I remember in the first movie, and I don't know if you remember this, but I rewatched the first one, last year.
Okay.
And there's a scene at the beginning where his mom comes in and saves them, and they that fight in the house. I don't know if you remember it.
I don't
It's
really.
one of those
It's
scenes
been
where
a while.
it's a one shot. It's a one shot scene, and it's just spinning in circles while you could clearly see the fighting.
Okay,
And I was
nice.
waiting
Yeah.
for something like that, but it was like a minute fight. It wasn't like a 20-second fight.
Yeah.
Like when James Wan, like when he does that camera. You know what I'm talking about, that camera thing where he kind of just
Mm-hmm.
spins around the action while they're fighting. Like, that's cool. I like that.
That is cool. And that's why I like
But,
that last fight. It just was way too short.
and then another complaint. This is just a nitpick. The guy's accent. The other dude, what's his name? I just couldn't. It just felt off for me, like overly done.
Which one?
The guy that I don't remember his name. He's the guy that couldn't stand Aquaman's brother, and then he saved his life, and then gave him the gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. The accent was a little heavy-handed for me. It seemed like out of place.
I'm pretty sure that's Dolph Lundgren.
Is it?
Yeah, which might be why the accent is kind of weird, because he has kind of a weird accent. It was strange.
Me, like, it was too much.
Yeah,
for this I'm picking now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things, but like it's average. Black Manta is like,
yeah.
Average.
I felt like at points this movie tried to be Guardians of the Galaxy, like with the music cutting in and like and some points it was like Thor Ragnarok where they're joking a lot, and just to your point where it didn't really know what it wanted to be. It tried to be too many different things.
Yeah, the cutaway with like music, it just didn't feel like it should be in this movie. I mean, some of it should be because, like Aquaman kind of looks like a little biker dude. Which I like those scenes where he's like on land and, with the rock music and kind of playing with the kid and stuff. But like when that's other scenes that just fell off. I don't know. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I got, man. It was just very average.
Yeah.
A lot of complaints, but like it was still fun.
So is this the end of the DCEU?
It is.
Yeah. Which is an interesting note to end on. Patrick Wilson eating a cockroach is the last
I know.
the last part of the DCEU, which kind of sums up how the whole thing went, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And I believe they were supposed to have like a different cutscene or after credit, like to continue it, but obviously
they're not continuing it. Yeah.
So kind of a whimper of a way out, kind of like kind of not on a great note, but not
I'm sure they'll try and do it again some other time, and who knows? We'll see if it's good or not.
Yeah. That being said, I still enjoyed it more than like the recent Marvel movies like Ant-Man.
Yeah, it was better than Ant-Man. Ant-Man was bad.
Yeah, this was fun. Ant-Man sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll give it that.
Yeah. Could have been worse.
It was at least fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been worse. That's a great That's great. Could have been worse.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I got for this.
Okay. Yeah, me too. 5s from both of us. Average.
5s. All right. Let's do Percy next. We'll save Godzilla for last.
Okay. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Okay, so first we're gonna give our scores again, and then we'll get into spoilers.
You want to clump the score or do two separate scores? It's 2 episodes.
That's a good question. I don't know. What do you think? I have 2 different scores, but I'm kind of leaning towards.
Let's just do 2 different scores.
I feel like personally the second episode was a little better. So for episode 1, okay, I'm going to preface this by saying I love the books. But I also haven't watched them in a really long time, so I don't know how
You haven't,
much, like,
you haven't watched the books in a long
I
time?
haven't watched the books. Yeah, I haven't read them in a really long time. But the first 2 episodes to me felt like exactly what I imagined reading the books. I thought they were really good. Um, I know the pacing is kind of fast. I feel like maybe this is probably, I didn't look it up, but I'm sure this is going to be another like 8 episode season that might be a little rushed. It's 8.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be a
check.
little rushed in places. I gave episode 1 an 8 because there were some
Okay.
scenes where it was like directly out of my head of what I imagined it. And so I thought 8 was really good. And episode 2 I gave a 9. I thought that was even better. And just like seeing the camp was just like so cool.
Mhm.
Now I might be a little biased and I might like, if I don't know, the series could go down and it may lower these in my head, but like just my first impression is I'm really excited for the rest of it.
Mhm. Okay. I'm similar, but I think you liked them a little more than me.
Okay.
But I agree with you. I think the first one is the weaker one. Well, not weak, but I'd
Yeah.
probably give the first one a 6. I think it's above average.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I was floating between 6 and 7, but I actually think it's 7 just because I am a book reader too. I did read the books.
Yep.
It's been a while, but
You watched the books?
from what I remember, yeah, sorry, I watched the books. You're right. Yep. From what I remember, like all I could think about this whole time was like, man, I think this is like super close to the book.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking that the whole time. Like even with the dream sequences, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think those were in the movies.
No, I don't
The
think
look
so.
of everything. So I'd say it's 7 for the first one.
Okay.
I liked it, and I thought the mom actress was really good.
I thought so too. Yeah.
And that scene where he fought the Minotaur, it was good.
Yep.
I liked it. Yeah, I will say the one thing I didn't like is they made Gabe the boyfriend so much more of a wimp than in the books.
Yeah, I
I
feel
do
like
know
they
that.
had to, like, for
I know
Disney.
it's Disney Plus, but then they had the mom like you say please or I don't get it. I'm like, oh my god, really? That Gabe in the books was like such a douche,
Yeah, he really
and they
was.
made him like such a wimp in this. Like the worst thing he said was, "Don't make crumbs in my car, I'll kick you out." Like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Like so, I will say that was a negative for me.
Okay.
But again, I guess this is nitpicking, but I thought the kid who played Percy was decent. I
Yeah.
will say that the kid actors like aren't the best, but they're kids, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that goes in with my second episode. I liked it a little bit more. I would give it an 8.
Okay.
I like seeing the camp is you're right is exactly what I imagined. I still don't know how I feel about the Annabeth actress because in this episode, I don't know, she just felt very unlikable, which I know that's kind of how she's supposed to be at first. So
Yeah, I
she'll
feel
probably
like
grow on me.
she kind of nailed that, honestly. Like, she's supposed to be
But
real cold. And, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about her yet. I
Okay.
like the Grover actor, and I like Percy. And I liked what's his name? Tyrion. I can't remember his name. Kyron. I like him. To Annabeth one, I just can't figure out. I even like Luke.
Yeah.
I just can't figure out the Annabeth actress yet. But again,
It's pretty early
I,
on. She
I just
hasn't
need
had
more.
that much. Yeah.
The only thing, my biggest complaint on the series is you hit it on the nail. Is the pace. Like we just got to the camp and they're already talking about going on a quest.
Yeah, it feels as fast as the movie did, honestly.
Yeah, like give me an episode or two, like in the camp. You know, let me feel the camp and care for the camp. Maybe they're not going to leave on the quest yet in the next episode.
Yeah, I
So
think well, we'll get more into it and we'll talk about
yeah,
what we
but
think is going to happen next. But yeah.
yeah, I won't get into big spoilers, but I guess I kind of was, but Yeah. Anyways, 7 for the first one, 8 for the second one. Let's do spoilers.
Honestly, and I was like between 7 and 8 on the first one and between 8 and 9 on the second one. So we have pretty similar scores. It's just you were a little lower on the end and I was a little higher on the end. So yeah.
Yeah. So you just rounded up and I rounded down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get into more of the actual spoilers of the show.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I did have, so I thought in the first episode, the museum scene was pretty much exactly as I imagined, except for the Mrs. Dodd fight. I felt that went so fast. It was like she just jumped on him and then she disappeared. I felt like there was more in the books from what I remember.
That didn't happen in the. I thought there was more in the books too, because the whole thing. I agree with you. I was like, oh wait, this is like exactly what I pictured. And then like they had that fight, quote unquote. And like I didn't remember it being like that in the book, but I could be. It's been so long since I read the book.
Yeah.
But that's just not how I remembered it. So
yeah, it has been. I mean, it's been like what 10, 15 years since I've read it.
I want to reread all the books, but yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I already mentioned Gabe. I don't know, he's such a wimp.
Yeah. I do like Percy and his mom's relationship. I feel like they did a good job of building, like they have a lot of trust and like
yeah, I like that.
I like that.
That was probably the highlight of that first episode for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not much to say. They were pretty quick, dude. Like I'm thinking about it now. I'm like,
that was one of the things I said is the episode seemed to fly by, like, and there's only 8 of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, like the car scene was good. That's how I pictured it.
Yep.
The fight with the Minotaur was good. Like I liked that.
Yeah, there were a couple parts in that fight that were a little obscured and hard to see, but overall it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I figured they're gonna do that. They probably have like no budget.
Yeah.
Or little budget and have to use it later on. Right. I you notice that in all these shows, it's always nighttime scenes.
Yeah.
And it's like nighttime scenes at the beginning you can hardly see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I like that. And the flashback scenes were good and a little creepy, Well, not creepy for us, but like if you're a younger viewer.
Yeah.
And exactly like the book. I mean,
I thought the Chiron casting was, I think you mentioned it, but I thought that was a good casting for sure.
Especially considering who he played in the movies is like a tall order. Do you remember who played him in the movies?
Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I really liked it. The only complaint is just Gabe and the speed of the episode.
Yeah. I feel like
Gabe's more of a nitpick.
Yeah, I feel like with him, they just couldn't show that much abusiveness in a TV show. But I understand. It is definitely a change.
Yeah. Because even in the movies, he's worse. But again, that's like more. They were older in the movies. Like this is more accurate.
Yeah, this is definitely more accurate age casting. That's one thing with. I guess that's more in the next episode. But with the Luke casting and you seeing how much older Luke is than Percy, and it kind of like juxtaposes them even more, which I thought that was a good cast decision.
Yeah, I guess we can go on the second episode unless you have anything else on the first.
Nope. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, we can move on to the second one.
So we both agree the second one's good. That was mainly, a lot of exposition as far as explaining about the camp and how it works. And,
I feel like that was my biggest problem with the second one is it was a lot of Luke just telling Percy stuff. Like, especially, like, one thing I wish we could have seen a little bit more is instead of Luke just being like, yeah, Annabeth's so smart, she's so smart. I wish we could have seen that a little more. We kind of did a little bit with the capture the flag, but it feels like...
Yeah, the way he was explaining it, too, it's like, it almost felt so, like, it almost felt cheesy in a way, because he's just, like, praising her. Oh, she's so smart. She's the best warrior there is. She'll get us to a 4th win.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right?
So, like, I agree with that. And again, the Annabeth, I know you didn't mind her at first, and maybe I don't either. Maybe it's just...
Yeah, I had no issue with her. What I'll say is, what's going to make or break it for me is how the main three interact and like how their chemistry is. Like Percy, Grover, Annabeth. I want to see those three together, and that'll make or break the casting decisions, I feel like.
It also could be because I just really loved Annabeth in the movies. Or should I say the actress?
Yeah. I also really like Annabeth in the book, so it's a big part for sure.
Yeah, but again, but I didn't dislike her. It's just I guess I just didn't see enough of her, and maybe it's not even her. Maybe it's Luke just explaining everything that it kind of annoyed me a little bit. So maybe it isn't even her. Maybe it's just the thought of like everyone praising her and us not seeing it.
Yeah, that definitely could be.
I did like the capture flag scene. That's pretty much how I pictured it too.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, didn't he go in the water and defeat her with that way?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember that.
They were clearly by the water and stuff, and
yeah.
I just
don't remember that specific part.
I did like the goofiness, Luke's like, "Oh, I'll trust Percy to do it," and he's over there just dancing and playing, and, not knowing what to do.
That's like, definitely what a kid would do.
Yeah, that gave me a chuckle.
Yeah,
and I did feel like, even for a kid show, I did feel like it was pretty intense. Like the girl who played what's her name?
Is it Clarice or something?
Clarice, that sounds right.
Yeah, something like that.
Plays her, like I thought she did really good. Like you could tell, like I almost like, okay, I would be a little scared if I was Percy. She doesn't care. Like it's like I liked her and I liked all that scene. That stuff was good.
Yeah.
The joke at when he first woke up, so right after how episode 1 ends is he defeats the Minotaur and then he passes out and then he wakes up in episode 2 at the camp. Yeah. The first person who's the first dude he sees in the camp, what's his name? The god
Dionysus.
I don't remember his name.
Dionysus.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm your dad. Go get me this.
I love that actor. I'm interested to see what they do with him because he's in the books. He's like so hands off and just like, yeah, do whatever you want. In this one, it seems like he's like asking Percy to go on the quest. He seems a little more like involved, but I really like that actor. So I hope they do his like hands off, whatever you want. Go just like, I don't know. I hope they do that well.
Because I like that actor too.
He's so funny.
And I like that stuff. Like I did chuckle at that. I did like the look of the camps and the actors. So yeah, like there's a lot more positive. Like, and then the whole thing with Grover, which is pretty creepy. He goes to like the Council in the Force or whatever the heck they were called.
Council of Cloves or whatever.
They're pretty creepy because it seems so cultish, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Because even they don't like him, right? Like Chiron and them, like you went to them, or not necessarily not like them, but they like.
Yeah, there's some weird dynamic there. I don't think that was really in the book because we were always from Percy's point of view, so maybe they just mention it. But I thought that was interesting to be able to see that because we didn't really get much of that in the book, which is kind of cool.
Of course, they explain. Oh, sorry. And then this is just for like future movies and stuff. They explained Zeus's daughter. What's her name?
Thalia.
Her.
Yeah, Thalia.
Yeah, remember they mentioned her like in this episode, like, oh, she didn't make it or whatever, and that's when Luke was explaining why Annabeth is such a badass
and what she's waiting for and why she's interested in Percy. Yeah,
and why she's studying him and she's waiting for that next person to go on a quest. Which is all like it's all, you're right, it's all like makes sense. Am I missing anything? I guess how's the episode end? Grover said, because Grover found out that his mom's alive. Because she just disappeared, disintegrated or whatever with the Minotaur and didn't like die. It was funny. I was explaining. I thought they would like get squished or something. What did he say?
Yeah. I've never seen a Minotaur kill anyone, but I thought they'd squish him more or something like that. Yeah.
So he's the one.
One thing I thought this did better than the book. In the book, it always seemed like really quick from Percy's mom dying, quote unquote, or what he thought was dying, and him being back to like joking. I felt this took a minute to like show him kind of mourn for it. He like burned the candy and talked to his mom. I thought that was a good additional scene that I don't really remember in the book. But yeah,
I don't
thought that
remember
was good.
either. Maybe it might have been, but yeah, I liked that. Well, then even Grover like going to the council and like him finding out that his mom's alive, but then Chiron and what's his face didn't want to tell Percy that.
Yep.
And Grover is pretty much like, screw you guys, this will get him on the quest.
Yeah.
Because then they ask him to do this quest, right? Like, oh, you're the like, chosen one or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Grover says, oh, your mom's down there, you could save her. Kill two birds with one stone, pretty much.
Yep.
And that's how it ends, right? He's like, all right, when do we leave?
Yeah. So I think...
So, great episode, but so fast, though. It went so fast.
Yeah, and we got 2 episodes and it still felt fast. Like, this next week's episode is going to go even faster, it feels like.
Like, wouldn't it have been better, like, for me, if you're in the camp for a couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, build up that intensity. Let us, like, love this camp. Like Hogwarts, right? Like, let's love this camp.
Yeah, I feel like 10 to 12 episodes with a few more in camp. I mean, we'll see the rest of the season, but...
Even if it's just, like, building the characters and showing them interact together and showing us the love and the lore of the camp, which they did, but I want more of it.
Yeah.
Although maybe next episode they don't go straight away, maybe we're talking like this and they're still in the camp the next episode. Yeah,
so I think my theory for next episode, and book spoilers if you haven't read the book, like at some point to make the quest like official, he has to go see the Oracle. So maybe next episode is the Oracle scene.
Yeah.
And so they're still in the camp. And then there's also, isn't there a part, I was waiting for this episode, but it didn't happen. There's a part by the campfire where they get some message through the fire or something.
Yes, they get a message through the fire, and I don't know what point of the book it's in, though.
Yeah.
But they do get a message through the fire.
In the movie, I feel like it was from Hades, but for some reason in the book, I want to say it's from Ares. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But yeah,
maybe that's next episode.
I think that might be next episode. So maybe we'll get a little bit more in the camp.
Percy finding out, he's Poseidon's son. That was cool.
Big moment. Yep.
But yeah, overall, like I said, maybe we're biased because we read the books. I don't know. Maybe people who haven't read this books are probably watching this and they're like,
that's one thing I wrote down is like, I really liked it, but I wonder how the pacing is for non-book readers and if like if they're confused or if it's just like, oh, this is so much information. Like, yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, because it's a lot of information, and we know, like, it's easy for us because we read the books, we watched the other movies, yada yada yada. But like, I'm wondering, like, if someone someone who has no clue what this is would watch it if they would like.
I want to try and get Tiffany to watch it. It's really hard to get her to watch stuff, but if I do, I'll get her opinion on it.
Okay. Yeah.
No problem.
My kids watched it with me and they loved it.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So she was cracking up at how Avia was cracking. Well, see, there was a scene, I forgot what it was. Oh, what was it? Oh, when that scene where they're trying to figure out what he was the best at.
Oh, and he was shot the arrow he was
the forging one. She's cracking up, and then like it flung out away. And burned the thing. My daughter, she was cracking up.
That's funny. Nice.
So like younger kids, I can confirm at least mine liked it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of all I got. I really liked it. I don't think this is this is early impressions. I don't think this is the kind of show where like I'm gonna go out and tell people, God, you gotta watch this show.
Sure, yeah. If I know someone's read the books, I will probably recommend it. But if not, I mean, it's a fun show that, you might like, but I wouldn't.
But not like it's not like a Last of Us, right? Where even if you haven't played the games, you tell people, God, you got to watch the show.
Yeah.
Well, have you watched the Last of Us show?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, you got to watch the show.
I want to beat the game first, and I haven't beaten the game yet.
Oh, I cannot believe. Okay, I'm not going to get sidetracked. This is Percy Jackson talking about Jesus Christ, God, watch the freaking show. All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
back to Percy
I
Jackson.
will. Yep.
But anyways, I guess what I was trying to go with is like that was such a good show where like people who haven't even played the game would probably really like that show.
Yeah,
Whereas this show, maybe if you haven't read the books, you might not like it as much.
that's true. Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
I could see that, but I'm not sure
which
on
is
that.
not a
Yeah.
bad thing. It's like a love letter. It feels like this is made for fans, so it's not a bad thing.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So, but no, I enjoyed it. But that's pretty much all I got on this.
Yeah, I agree. It was good. I'm excited for more, but man, it's going by fast, these episodes.
Mm-hmm. Super fast, and only 8 episodes, so.
Yep.
And they're only like 30 minutes long, too.
I know. The second one was like 40, but yeah,
But I mean, after credits
true. Yeah.
opening previously on all that stuff.
Yep.
But, okay, cool. What do we got left? Godzilla?
Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, episodes 6 and 7.
Yay! We're getting close to the end of this one, too. 3 more episodes after this?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to start? Or want me to start? Or
You can start on this one.
okay, so episode 6. Let's see. I wrote my notes since it's been a minute since I watched it.
Yeah.
Okay. So episode 6. I thought this was the best episode of the whole series so far. I loved this one a lot, actually.
Okay. Yep.
I thought overall perfect. The flashbacks. The flashbacks. Oh god, I can't get into the flashbacks, but I love the flashback scenes. I love the chemistry of the flashback scenes.
Yep.
I loved everything with the flashback scenes. And then the regular scenes in the present time, I thought it all connected good. It was going somewhere. There was some cool scenes I don't want to say. Yeah, I would give this episode a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this episode, and it was my favorite episode of the series so far, including the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty much the same. I think I was between an 8 and a 9. I think I'll stick with my 8, but I do think that it was one of the best episodes for sure. It was really good. I definitely liked the flashbacks. Thought it was interesting. It added some stuff to the characters. I thought the present stuff was a lot more like they were actually doing stuff that seemed important.
Yeah, and starting to connect a little bit.
Yeah, yep.
Or storylines that were going somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a really good episode.
Okay,
and we'll get more into it in the spoilers.
Should we do spoilers for this first, or should we give our rating for the second one?
We can give our ratings for the second one.
Okay. So episode 7.
7, yep.
It was not as good as the other one. For this one, I really enjoyed it, but I kind of clump it in with the 2 other flashback episodes with what's her name? Kate? What's her name? The sister?
Yeah, Kate.
Yeah, with her and God, what's the brother's name? I cannot remember these names.
Kentaro.
Yeah, I kind of clump it with those episodes, but I actually think it was better in those episodes because I really liked the present day stuff, and I think his name's Tim.
I love Tim. Best character.
So I don't think he is a good character, but I don't think it's. So I kind of, if I had to, like, for me, these are more on the level of those other 2 episodes, but better than those other 2 episodes. Like, not as good as this last one or the first couple episodes, but better than the other 2 flashback episodes, and better than them by a lot. So I'd probably give this one. I don't know. I actually really did enjoy this one too, and it still did further the plot. I'd probably give it a. I'm trying to think. I'm between a 7 and an 8.
Okay.
Just because I still have some gripes with some characters.
Yeah.
I'll say an 8 because I really did enjoy this one, and it still did feel like it furthered the plot a lot. So I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I have similar. I'm giving it just one lower than you. I gave this one. I was between a 7 and an 8. I think I'll give it a 7. Although I could be influenced to give it an 8.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I thought these 2 episodes were huge steps up from the last 2. Like,
Oh, for sure. Like, no question.
yeah, way better. I enjoyed them a lot. This had some cool stuff that connected to other things, and definitely gave us some more insight into some characters.
Mhm.
And I'll get into what my arguments for why it's probably a 7 over an 8, and we'll see if they hold up, and if I want to keep it a 7 or change it to an 8.
Okay. That's the joy of talking about things. You can
Yep.
kind of think about it as we talk.
Yep.
All right, let's get into spoilers because I
Okay.
want to talk about these.
Spoilers for Monarch, episodes 6 and 7.
You're warned. You are warned.
Yes.
Hey. Skip.
I have something I want to start off with that I read
go
and
for it.
did not catch while watching it. But you know the French lady who originally was working for Tim and now is working with Shaw?
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch that she's Ford Brody's aunt?
I did not.
The main character from Godzilla 2014. It's his aunt.
I did not.
Because she mentions
Really?
at one point how her sister died in like was it the reactor meltdown? And that's Ford Brody's mother. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting little connection that I did not catch and saw in some comments.
How did you catch that? Oh, you saw in the comments.
Yeah,
okay.
I saw someone in the comments say it, and I was like, "Really?" And I looked it up, and it seems to be
makes it
legitimate.
even more interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. Cool little connective tissue there.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, but you can go ahead with whatever you're saying.
Well, that was interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So episode 6. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this, man, I really did love this episode. The flashback scenes, I like them so much. Like the chemistry between Shaw and
so
Dr.
much better.
is so good. Like, and I love the fact how like they kind of had that relationship first, and maybe if they wouldn't have gotten interrupted to go up to that hotel room, like they would have been the one to stay together and her not go with what's his face. So I just loved everything about these flashback scenes. Even the little bit of hints of like awkwardness, right? Like they were kind of like, they're a little sketchy and racist because she's Japanese. Like, oh, that's a Japanese name, right? Like, and he explained like they're very old school, and I don't know, everything about their dance together and everyone staring at them, just their chemistry and their conversations. Like the first 10 minutes of this episode, I really loved.
Yeah, and I feel like
Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought their chemistry was great. I feel like Shaw's military priorities are what kept him and Keiko from being together, and I feel like that moment where they were about to go up to the room and then he got interrupted by it, she was like, okay, this is just probably not going to work because he's
like that was the moment that
he's like so deep in the military and like having these
well, that was the moment for her, I guess we should say.
Yeah. I don't know if Shaw ever had that moment. He might still be in love with her.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, so like that was an interesting moment because like I truly think if they would have gotten interrupted and gone up there and like we're together, maybe she would have been like, you know what? Like I care about this, like you're more in it. So like that was a really interesting scene. Like I really like those flashback scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then even fast forward to later flashback scenes of him going to his boss's barbecue, like, hey, they need me. My people need me. And he's basically telling them to choose between work, like pretty much work or love.
Yep.
And he picks love and goes there. And Kate is like, you can tell she's kind of mad,
Yep. Yeah, I feel like he chose that a little too late. Like he had an opportunity to do that earlier and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
because then he gets there and you could tell his buddy. What's the other guy's name?
Bill Randa.
I need to write these names down. Bill, yeah. You could tell he kind of knows, like, oh, what's going on? Like they kind of had scenes where he's eyeballing and he gets there and Shaw gets there and tells him, I'm here. And then Kate kind of gets mad, like, what do you mean you're here? We need you there, like,
Right.
what have you done kind of thing. But then she pretty much tells them we can't be together. Then they have their kiss. And then like Godzilla shows up, which was freaking awesome.
Yep. Very cool.
So like all the flashback scenes, like great stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you
agreed.
agree? Is there anything you want to add with the flashback scenes?
I loved all the flashback scenes. I wish it focused around those characters more, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they were all really good.
And then hold on, let me go. Let's see here. Oh, okay. And then the scenes, so the modern day scenes, which I loved. I mean, not as much as the flashback scenes, but like it was the best the flashbacks or the regular day scenes have been since like the beginning for me.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I love the whole like breaking Shaw out of the car and the Russian lady kind of working with him. I love the Monarch scenes of Tim when they're up in the office figuring out like what's going on, and with the main Monarch ladies, telling about the satellites and So like Tim, great, unexpectedly great character.
I know. He's my favorite like modern day character in this.
I know, and I wasn't after the first couple episodes, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, same.
And then also, I loved the whole, Shaw's pretty much. I don't want to say he's like a bad guy, but like they're kind of setting up to where like like Monarch's slowly shifting, especially in the next episode.
Yeah, that's
like maybe we're gonna cheer for Monarch.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, who are we rooting for here? Because it's making me go back and forth. Shaw, then Monarch, then Shaw, then Monarch. Yeah, it is good.
I think that's great storytelling. So, like for this episode specifically, Shaw goes back with the Russian lady to Kate and them, and like, hey, I need your help. And of course, they don't want to do it.
Yep.
Oh, and the reason they found him is because of May gave them, gave him up pretty much, but they don't know that yet.
Yep.
They reluctantly decide to help, or kind of reluctantly, but it's as of need, I guess, to find their dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of leads to a little adventure with them, and then they find their dad. The dad waves, go, go, go. He has like some sort of device, which we assume is maybe
the
Godzilla.
Same. It's the same device as in the flashback. It kind of looked like,
But then, like what was it? Shaw said, or someone said, like, why would he be trying to call Godzilla when that's what he's been trying to prevent?
Yeah.
So we still don't know the dad's motives really, but then we see Godzilla again. So like we got two Godzillas.
I know. I love that. Like, and he was just like chilling in the middle of a desert, just like resting.
He was just chilling in the desert, and with the flashback scene, like, dude, like, this is why this is my favorite episode. Like, between the flashbacks and the amazing chemistry of characters in the flashbacks, plus Godzilla, and the fun adventure, and finally bringing the story forward, and Godzilla and Tim, and the modern day scenes, and like having it all together in one episode. It was amazing for me.
Okay, you're making me rethink my 8 into a 9, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's the gist of it. And at the very end, Shaw goes his own way, and the kids go their own way because they want different things and they don't trust Shaw. And then that's when May kind of confesses, I lied to you. I needed my family back. And and but I'm going to complain more about this in the next episode, so I'm not going to do it now. But that's kind of how it ends. So that's my thing. What did you kind of agree with the goods? Was there any bads I missed you didn't like?
So just, I don't know if it's a nitpicky thing or like, I don't understand at the end why they leave Shaw. I feel like the main 3 characters just do things and don't think about things, and they change their mind on what they want. Like, oh, I want to find my dad. Oh, I don't want to find my dad. Oh, I want to find Godzilla. Oh, I don't want to find Godzilla. Like, it just seems so inconsistent. I
can see that.
Like, but, that's kind of, I've still, and May kind of annoyed me a little bit in this episode. We do learn more about her later, but like, I don't know, there's just, I'm just not into the main 3 in the present. I think that's the biggest thing that kind of brings it down. But other than that, it was a great episode.
And even the brother, forgot his name already. Kentaro. Even though I like him, he's not given a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Like they're given more screen time for May and Kate, and that's who like I care about literally the least.
Yeah. And they are definitely doing the love triangle thing, although that's the next episode.
Oh god, we'll get that in the next episode. Because I have some complaints. But like in this episode, like really there's few complaints for me. Like I really did think this is the perfect blend between monster and mystery and modern and flashbacks and characters. So I really like this one.
Maybe we'll get more. We probably will get more answers on this, but I'm curious why their dad just dipped. Like found Godzilla and then didn't check on the kids. Like didn't make sure they were okay.
Thing,
like he just was like, peace.
Yeah, like what was up with that?
I don't know.
I was wondering that too, and I guess the kids want to know that because like they kind of like the brother doesn't want to
find the dad anymore because he just
find the dad.
Yeah,
but
did
the
that.
Sister Kate does.
Yep.
So, but anyways, yeah, I loved it. If I'm missing anything overall, like that's why I gave this a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I could go like 8.5 out of 10. I
8.5?
thought, yeah.
Okay. All right. So episode 7. I'll let you start with this one.
Okay, so I gave this one a 7. It's another solid episode, and it picked up after the lull of the episodes 4 and 5. And I thought this was interesting because at the end we find out that so let's start off with we find out more about May, about why she was on the run. She, went to work for this company called AET with Naomi Nagata from The Expanse. Which I thought she did a pretty good job. That was fun seeing her in that. And so she's working for this company. She's not like really doing much. She feels like she's like kind of sidelined with these other people that don't really do much. And they're just like using her code. And then she like sneaks into some area she's not supposed to be and finds out that they're like doing experiments on animals. And so she does she wipe data? I think is that what it was? She like wiped the data, wiped a year's worth of data. Yeah. And so then they are like out to get her, and that's why she's on the run, and she has a bunch of money because.
How do you feel about her flashbacks?
I feel like they made her a little more likable. But I'm still not.
I didn't mind them either.
I didn't mind them. I'm still not totally sold on her. But she did seem a little better at the end, where she didn't really sell them out, at least, which is a step in the right direction. Right? So
I would hope she did sell them out again.
Yeah, for the second or third time.
I guess my issue with the flashback scenes is like, I don't know, like they kind of made her seem like she thinks she's better than everyone. Like they didn't make me hate the company to where like I see why she would sneak in and do all that.
Yeah.
Like I get why she would do it because like if I saw those animals and stuff, I'd be like, what the heck is this company doing? But to get there,
to
me, it's like they're giving you good pay and she's telling you need to work your way up. What is bad with that?
Yeah, that's true. Like she's entitled, kind of.
Yeah, so like I didn't get that part. Like it made me like, okay, like you're literally getting good pay, and she said you could work your way up. Actually,
unfortunately, fits with the character so far.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's why I thought sneaking in and doing all that was premature. I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long she was working there. Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, I get a raise." She's like, I'm already getting paid." Like it wasn't about the money. Like I don't know. So like, I like the concept of it, like a big corporate company being after you. It kind of reminded me of like, I don't even play Cyberpunk, but
I never did. I want to though.
But there's like you could pick between like, your one of the passes being like part of it's corporate. You're like a part of the big company.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, that's the only issue I had with that scene. But like I didn't hate it. Like it was better than May or than Kate's flashbacks, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked seeing her with her family. That made her a little more like humanized and like
Mm-hmm.
made her character a little
And
more.
Tara like seeing the pictures and all that, and he was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know she did this or did that." Yeah.
yeah. Made me feel for that character a little bit more. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So, and then come to find out at the end of that episode that AET eventually becomes Apex Cybernetics, which is the
Mm-hmm.
company responsible for Mechagodzilla. So that's a really cool
That is a cool little thing, yeah.
tie-in. And like the only reason it happened is because Verdugo made that deal with Naomi. I don't know her character name in the show. I'm just gonna call her Naomi.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was cool.
Which is interesting. Like,
Yeah.
but it connects to the movies. Yeah.
Yep. And then my other thing with this episode was we kind of talked about it already, but like seeing Shaw, it feels like they're framing him completely different now, where before it's like he's the good guy, he's going up against Monarch, he's trying to do what's best for the world. In this one, it was like we don't see a lot of his planning, we just see him executing stuff, and it's like, dang, he's like, is he the bad guy? Like now we're focusing more on Monarch and like, but he's getting stuff done.
He's still like letting people. He's still letting like, hey, you guys could leave if you want. Doors open, but if you don't leave, we're locking it down. So like, he's still like, I don't know. You're right though. The show's definitely framing him as like you. I don't know if you should be rooting for this guy.
yeah, which is interesting. It keeps me on my toes. It's like, who do you trust? Like the only person I actually trust right now is Tim, is because he seems to be like real. Like he'll say what's on his mind.
Like, these last couple episodes, Tim has been like the heart of the show. Like he's like, we should have trusted these freaking kids.
Yep. I feel like he's a stand-in for the audience. It's like he's saying some of the stuff we're thinking. Like, why are you doing this? Why don't you do this? And he says it. Yeah.
Like you're right. He was the only one I could trust. You know, like him. He's literally just wants what's best, and he says that. And and then he tells Monarch to kind of go out in the open.
Yeah. I liked that part too. I thought that was a good idea by Tim. Good job, Tim.
yeah. Tim is. You're right though. Tim is the greatest. His comedy, his heart. Like, Tim is the best character.
I love that moment when they're walking up to the house and he's like, "Let me handle this," and then he trips. It was like
he trips. Yeah, that little subtle moment. Yeah. I wonder if that was like actually meant to happen or if it was an accident.
I don't know, but I loved it.
That gave me such a good chuckle, dude. Yeah. But I thought it was going to be like he knocks on the door and says something stupid, but it was like it went on the curb. And it was so funny. It's so subtle. I like that too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they're talking about the manga and like, oh, is this that?
Yeah, that was funny too. And they like asked more about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got this. It's this." It's like, yeah, he seems like he would know.
Oh, such a freaking good character.
Yeah.
So honestly, between Tim and I like the whole concept of like, what do you root for?
Yeah.
Like that's why I gave this episode, an 8, because I think this overall has better. It's more good than bad, and even though some of the characters annoy me, the story is still moving forward.
Yeah, true. I think I might have rated them a little low just because of some of the character choices, but they were both really good episodes.
But we could get into the bad. I mean, we probably agree on some of the bad.
I think I kind of talked about the bad still, like, well, the love triangle, like that was an awkward scene. I don't know about you, but like them in the car, and like him just being like, oh, they're okay.
I absolutely hate. This is like, honestly, like, if this wasn't in it, I could even give this higher. I hate, like, I truly hate it. Like, I want to go down a point just by thinking about this right now. Whenever they have May apologizing and doing all this, she always looks to Kate. You don't have a history with Kate.
Yep.
You should be telling your ex that you've known and you've had a relationship with. Is it just me? It bothers me so much how he's just in the background when she should be telling him this.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it bothers me so much, dude. Like, so much, as you could tell.
Yep.
That car scene, like you said, was so awkward.
Yeah. And like, it might not be as bad. I still don't think I would like it, but it might not be as bad if we didn't find out that Kate was like a serial cheater and May has abandonment problems, and like I don't really want to root for these characters, and now they're
Kate was like a good character, then yeah, maybe we would be like, you know what? Like I
yeah,
kind of
maybe
want
she
Kate to
deserves
have
it.
like
Yeah,
but
but
no. It drives me nuts, dude, because they have a history. Her and Kentaro.
but it
Kentaro?
doesn't feel like it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's always just in the background and she's apologizing to him or her and crying to Kate and I'm
Being
like
comforted by Kate or comforting Kate. Yeah.
I'm like, we just watched a whole episode of you guys having this connection and
Now it's gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
That drives me like so nuts, dude. And it's making this core characters even worse. Why do they even need to have this? This doesn't need to be a story.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, like you're right. Like it's horrible. Like the three main characters, like if they continue with this, they're horrible.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. It makes me so upset because the rest of it's actually pretty decent.
I know. Why did they write these characters so weird when some of the other ones are so good? I don't know.
And there's no point for a lot. Like, why are you making them like have some sort of weird connection? I feel like they're doing it just to do it.
Seems
It's
forced.
unnecessary.
It seems forced for sure.
And I don't want people to say, "Oh, you just don't like how they're both girls." They like, no, I don't give a crap.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't give a crap about nothing. I just want a good story.
Like, okay, so I feel like it's been compared to the Korra and Asami thing in Legend of Korra, which is funny because one of the characters is literally named Korra. But I feel like the Korra and Asami one was way better because first of all, it took 4 seasons for it to happen, and there were like little moments that weren't too obvious, but like I could see how they got there. This one, it's like, oh, they're there. How did that happen?
Well, and we kind of like Korra too.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I just feel like
Not
it
like
definitely could be done better, and it just feels kind of forced, yeah. And it
Yeah, I
would be
don't
like
even
that
care,
if,
like-
if Kate was a guy. It still would feel forced. Like,
Yeah.
if it
I
was
was gonna say,
Kentaro and his brother, and she's now falling in love with his brother, I'd be like, what the hell? What happened with Kentaro? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I'm not like, I don't even care about any of that crap. I give good props to where I don't care about that. I care about good story, and that's not a good story. It does not need to be in this freaking story.
Yeah.
It is pointless, and it's bringing down the core people. Thank God for Tim, because if Tim wasn't in this episode, I probably would have given it lower because he's not with the core people.
Yeah, I feel like that part is like a CW show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching...
True, at least CW does it better.
But that's what
At
they're kind
least,
of like
like,
going for.
Or
It's like,
likable.
yeah.
Like, hey, I'll admit, I'm a sucker for some good. I'm gonna admit, I like cheesy things. I like love stories. I get a sucker for like father-daughter stuff or kid stuff.
Yeah,
I like the
makes sense.
cheesy stuff. I know a lot of people don't like the cheese and love stories, but I love a good love story. Like, I really do. I'm not gonna lie.
This just isn't a good one.
This isn't a good one. Like, look at when we reviewed the Hunger Games. I thought that was a pretty decent love story. Like, I loved the whole concept of forbidden love and this or that. Like, I'm a cheese ball at heart. I like that stuff. But this isn't a good one, man.
Yeah.
It's not a good one. What I was going with this is CW, even though it's cheesy, like, it's at least like you're kind of like, aw, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not defending CW, but like, at least you're like, oh, that's cute. Not with this.
No, I haven't had an awe moment yet, especially because they made me dislike both the characters pretty.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The way I'm talking about this literally, like, just talking about this one part of the show makes you want to bring it lower. Even though the rest of the episode I loved.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think it had that big of a. I'm more worried about what's going to happen in the future, and just like small things in this episode. But yeah,
it's just a couple scenes. Like, it wasn't like a main point in this episode or even the show. But it's the little moments that just bother me so much.
Yeah.
And I hope, like, you're right. In the last few episodes, I really wonder what they're going to do.
Yep.
But besides that, I know we went on a 5-minute rant on this. That The episode was awesome. That's why I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Oh, in the end, so with Shaw, so he was like blowing up the hole to get to the Hollow Earth. Is what it looked like.
I think it, yeah. So he closed it, it seemed like. So he might have
He
stopped because they were talking about it having the same signature as G-Day. So maybe something
closed
was...
it, try to prevent it, maybe?
Yeah. And he did that without anyone dying. Like, that's... I mean, if that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, like, that's the thing. So is he really bad? He's just trying to prevent things.
I think he is trying to prevent things, yeah.
And he's not doing it by killing people, trying to do the right thing in the wrong ways. He's still not killing people or anything, or forcing people to do anything.
I think because we had so much of the Monarch point of view, to them, he is the bad guy. So that's kind of why it felt like it. I'm curious what his overall goal is, though, because it could technically go either way. I don't know what exactly would be the bad way, but I don't know, maybe just...
I guess just doing anything at all costs, even if that means people dying.
Yeah, and like...
Even though you can still argue that's life, but...
Yeah, and whatever the dad's doing might have something to do with it, because he was definitely trying to wake up Godzilla. Yeah. So if Shaw... Yeah, I don't know.
Does he know? Maybe... So this was set before King of Monsters, right? Was he maybe sensing or has some stuff, like, insight on those monsters? So he's like, we're gonna need Godzilla again kind of thing?
Yeah, that could be.
Because I'm trying to figure that out, too.
Yeah.
That's an interesting little mystery that they're slow building, which I like.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I don't know, I will say this: these last 2 episodes, like, put it back on track for me. Like now, like after the 2 before these last 2, like episodes 3 and 4, or was it 4 and 5?
Yeah, those were definitely worse.
I was slowly like I was still excited to watch, but it was more of like, it's kind of fallen for me. But after these last 2 episodes, my hype is back up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. It's hooked me back in. And I love the the connections, and even the ones that like are hard to find, but when you hear about them, you're like, oh, that's awesome. Like the ant thing, and and seeing
the Apex. Well, that was a little more obvious,
in your face, but I thought that all was really cool. When that came on and like the graphic changed to Apex, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like, I like how it's connecting. Oh, it was like I enjoyed these last 2 episodes a lot against the scores. Like, and Tim. Now let me ask you this: so if Tim wasn't in this, would this last episode be this high, or even the episode before?
Probably not. Like, but it would only lose like a point for me. Like,
it wouldn't be. Yeah, but he definitely adds that extra
for sure
oomph. I feel like
he's definitely needed that character, and I'm very glad that he's in the show.
I was like, there's no way they're gonna kill him off in that plane or that helicopter.
They said that. I'm like, no,
comes.
Tim was on that. There's no way.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Tim's not gonna die. And if they did, I was like, oh, okay, well, that character kind of went nowhere.
Yeah,
that's kind of all I got on this episode. I really like both these episodes.
Yeah, and the best thing is, it's not just one more episode left, right? We have 3 more.
Yep.
Oh, 10 episode seasons. 10 episodes. For some reason, that just feels so much better.
Well, yeah, because this week would have been the finale, right? Episode 8.
Yep.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. I'm worried about that with Percy Jackson, but
I feel like Disney needs to up their episodes by just 2, and it would be a lot better.
You're right. I think it's a Disney problem, huh?
Yeah.
Because even I don't know if you watch Stranger Things. If you don't, you really freaking should.
Oh, I do. I love Stranger Things.
Okay. Even with Stranger Things, that last season was only like 6 episodes, but they're like hour and a half long episodes.
Right. Yeah, that's different for sure.
They're almost like 6 movies, If you're going to have, with Disney, it's like 6 episodes and like 25, 30-minute episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Come on, Disney. Get your act together.
Seriously, don't get me started. I could talk about Loki again.
I think we've covered that enough.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay, yeah, I think that's good for this episode. So thank you all for joining the VGA podcast, and we will talk to you next
wait.
week. Oh, yeah.
I need to talk about what I've been playing.
Okay, what have you been playing?
Resident Evil 4 remake. I know I'm late to the party. It came out a little bit ago. And, it's a remake. So, by God, Caleb, you got to play it, man.
I'll
I know
find time
your
to play
wife
it.
doesn't like scary games, but it is so good. And it changes. They change it up a little bit to where it kind of feels new.
Okay.
Like even the beginning of the game, you get to like the first little village differently than in the original one, but like in a way that makes more sense, and it doesn't deviate too far off. It just enhances it.
Okay.
And there's like little side quest type things, and the map is a lot better in this one. And the graphics are great.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll find time to play it for sure.
Dude, it's awesome, man. Like, and it's the perfect blend of like, you can, this was in the original one too, but I think why I like Resident Evil so much, all of them, is it's the perfect blend of linear, yet you could still upgrade weapons, get more powerful. You still got to manage your inventory, but it's not like too heavy. Like, me, I'm sick of open world games, so this is like a perfect like linear game with a little bit of like RPG, upgrade your weapons and ammo and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's so good, man. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Resident Evil fan. Like, it's a great horror game. You would like it too because so far I'm about 5 hours into the game and I still haven't had uh ammo issues where I run out.
Oh,
Because
nice.
you get so much materials you can craft ammos like on the go now.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, I like that.
and
That's one of my least favorite things about
I know that's what
games.
you don't like. Yeah. Like, so even if I run low on ammo, you could find a lot, or you can craft your ammo. They added a thing now where like you can find treasures, and instead of just selling the treasures that are jewel, you could add like the jewels. Say you find like a ruby or something, you could add it to the treasure to like make it cost even more.
Oh, okay.
So you can like combine treasures to make it sell for more, so you can buy more ammo and stuff.
Gotcha. That's cool.
The map, I know I mentioned the map, but the map is so like I love the map. It's very simple to read. If you find a treasure that you can't open yet with a key, you could just look on it at your map. You don't have to try to re-find it everywhere.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You could buy a treasure map that reveals all the hidden treasures. So, like, it's one of those games where I could see myself after I beat it, like going through the map and collecting everything.
Nice, yeah.
It's awesome, dude. And you got to play it.
Yeah, I'll either find time to play it or I'll play it with headphones on and just tell her not to watch.
Yeah. Which, doesn't she like Diablo? That's like
she does,
devil game.
But yeah, devil and horror are different in her mind for some reason.
They are?
Yeah, she doesn't find Diablo as like, she thinks it's more like creepy and gross, not like scary. I don't know.
Okay.
Also, she played it as a kid, which she was way too young to play it.
So maybe it has more of a nostalgic feel.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say Resident Evil is more like traditional type of horror,
Yeah.
Like while you're playing, I should say, like going behind a door or something popping up, or that creepy, like dark. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
exactly.
If anything, do headphones.
Yeah.
But it's a great game. I love it. Got on sale for $30. I had to do it.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm still waiting for Liza P to go down to like 30 or something, but that'll probably be a while.
Yeah, that's a great game.
The other game I've been playing on the Switch, something to play when I'm up at night with my newborn, is Darksiders, which we kind of talked about it.
Yep, great game.
And man, I am loving that, dude. Like, it's so fun. It's such a fun game.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel kind of like Zelda?
Zelda? I was gonna say they definitely got inspired by Zelda and God of War.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
And I was reading reviews, and people hit on the nail. It's like they did their job. It's the perfect blend of different genres into one.
Yep.
Like, it's the perfect blend. It's not going to blow your socks away. It's not like a masterpiece, but it's the perfect blend of everything. It's like,
it's a fun game.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like fun. It's solid.
I was reading the second one's even better.
I think, I played the second one. The second one was good too. I never played the third or any of the offshoots.
From what I was reading, the third one went down in quality. I don't know if it was the same company who made it, or if it was, they kind of changed up the combat style. It's more linear.
Gotcha.
But I still got it, so I'm still going to play all of them. But yeah, Darksiders, great game. Like, especially I could play in bite-sized pieces. I love the dungeon feel and grading my items. And again, it's not like I know I repeat myself, but I'm so sick of open world. I got to spend 100+ hours in a game where this is nice. It's like the perfect blend.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
nice.
those are I had to mention those two games because both of them are so good.
Yeah, I've been playing another Souls-like. I don't know if I'm going to keep going with it though. It's Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that.
It's on Game Pass, so I decided to try it, and I don't know, it feels nowhere near as polished as the other actual Souls games, and it almost feels, I don't know if it's because I did Liza P and so I got really good at the parrying, and I still that was pretty recent, but this game seems pretty easy. It does not seem that hard at all. Like, I saw people complaining about the first boss, and I don't know if they patched it and made him easier, nerfed him or something, but I no-hit him and beat him.
Or maybe you're a pro now.
Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. It's just not holding me as much as Liza P or the Souls games did. So,
have you tried that Lords of the Fallen yet, or no?
No, that one's not on Game Pass.
Are you still iffy on that one?
Yeah, if it goes on Game Pass or the PlayStation thing, I might, or if it goes on a good sale, I probably will. But yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
$30 or less kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with most games now. Once it's on sale for $30, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game like Spider-Man that we're hyped for.
Right.
Like an Elden Ring 2. Or like that, I know you didn't try it yet, but that Dragon Dogma that comes out next year, Dragon's Dogma, I'm definitely getting that because that looks freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to try that.
Like that too. Even if you don't finish the game, try it, get the taste of it. So when you play the new game,
yeah, true.
You're like, oh, okay, this is the style of it. So I hope it's good.
Yeah, me too. That would be cool.
But yeah, besides that, we already talked about everything we're kind of watching. Oh, I did watch. This is nothing we talked about, but I did watch that Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder Netflix film. I don't know if you've heard
how
of it.
was that? Because I've heard mixed reviews about that.
Very average. I mean, I'll say this: I wasn't bored. I finished it.
Okay.
But it was very I don't know, very average. You don't care about the character. It's like a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
But honestly, probably a lower end Zack Snyder film.
Okay. I heard it was basically the same story as Star Wars, and it looks a lot like Star Wars when I see the trailer.
Yeah, you got the main girl she's living on a farm and has to go recruit people to fight, in a rebellion against the Empire. Well, not the Empire, I don't know what they're called.
But essentially the Empire, yeah.
Which I was reading that this was actually written as a Star Wars film originally.
Interesting.
I don't know if you knew that, but Zack Snyder has been writing this for years.
Yeah.
And was trying to make it into Star Wars, and then they denied it, which I can see why.
Yeah.
And made his own. And you can even tell, because even one of the girls in this have they almost look like light. There's swords that are super heated up and make lightsaber sounds, but
look
they're not
like lightsabers in the trailer. Yeah.
I almost wonder if she was originally supposed to be a Jedi that helps them or something.
Yeah, interesting.
But I don't know, very average too. It's a good movie if you're ever bored. It's like a Sunday, your football team freaking sucks. You don't know what to do. If you threw that on, it's like a rainy day outside. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
But it's not that great. The characters, you meet all these characters, and there's a big speech at the end, and from one of the characters, you're like, dude, you barely talked the whole movie, and I'm supposed to be inspired by you.
That's funny.
Honestly, for me, the first 30 minutes are probably my favorite.
Okay.
Because it was more of to contain she's on Tatooine, but not on Tatooine.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's more contained story. Once they start leaving the initial village, it starts going like super fast paced and introducing a lot of these characters and not having any time with the characters. And the action's
Gotcha.
okay, but for like a Zack Snyder film, I would say the action's not as good as like
Hmm.
his previous films.
Okay.
But yeah, I did watch that. And then I am gonna watch, believe it or not, I never watched it. I am gonna watch Dune because I never watched that.
I never watched it either. I wanted to read the book, but then we tried and switched to a different book, so I need to just watch it.
Or maybe we could do like a Dune review when the new one. I think new one comes out next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Dune Part Two. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna watch that. And yeah, I think
Nice.
that's. Oh, and I'm gonna start For All Mankind too. You don't have to watch it. I want to watch it. It seems quite
Okay. Yeah,
interesting.
that's the one on Apple Plus, right? Apple TV.
Hmm. Hmm. So
Okay.
did you have to renew your Apple TV for another
Yeah,
month?
I did, but that's worth it.
They do have some good shows on there though.
Yeah.
But
And
anyway,
I
okay, now
think
that's all.
last thing I have is, well, first of all, this week's episode of Jujutsu Kaisen again is amazing, and I think next week is the last episode of season 2, which is crazy. This season has been some of the best like episodes. It's so good.
Okay.
So
I know I need to get back
that's my plug for that.
on.
And then apparently Chainsaw Man's coming out with a movie before the second season,
Oh,
which will be cool.
I did see that. Yeah. Are they
I'm
going to
excited
release
for
that in
that.
theaters?
Probably. I think they did for Jujutsu Kaisen 0, so
Maybe when that goes to theaters, I'll watch that first season and then we can go.
yeah, that'll be quick because it's
see
only
that
like
one.
10 or 12 episodes. I probably should have started doing
Yeah.
that one before Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's
It's
awesome
okay.
too.
Oh, yeah, I can watch that and then we'll go see it at the theater. If
Sweet.
it is, I think it would be around
I
there.
think it will be.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
All right.
Sweet. All right.
Okay, well, we'll talk to everybody next week. Thanks for joining.
Peace.